The Chicago Bulls remain undefeated to start the season. Let's talk about it right after this. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Whole Lotta Bull. I'm Troy. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Troy. But more importantly, please follow the channel at Whole Lotta Bull. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. So the Bulls, 4-0. Who would have thought? The Bulls get a 126-113 victory over the Sacramento Kings. They spoil the return of former Bull Zach LaVine and also DeMar DeRozan. His second game back, but hey, it's their first game back together as a tandem in Chicago, so I'll let it slide this time. Now, a quick shout out to Zach LaVine. Now, this is a guy that we got back in the Jimmy Butler trade, and I instantly became a fan after watching the highlights of what Zach LaVine could do, the potential he had. Obviously, he was out with that ACL injury at the time of the trade. And obviously, it signaled a new direction of where the Chicago Bulls were going, moving on from Jimmy Butler. But this is a guy who, despite his flaws, despite not having the best talent around him, at one point having the worst head coach in basketball history. So he who shall remain nameless, one and only Egghead. This is a guy who did put his heart and soul into the Chicago Bulls. And I hope Bulls fans remember that despite, people questioning his abilities, is he a winning player? Is he an empty calorie scorer? All that sort of shit. I hope that Zach LaVine's time in Chicago is remembered favorably. This is a guy who is the all-time franchise record holder in three-pointers made. He might fall to second not too long in the distant future, depending on the future of Kobe White, who's kicking down the door on that one. But yeah, so good to see Zach LaVine as well as DeMar back at the UC. Now, shout out Zach. Had a one of those heated games that Zach has. 30 points, 12 and 19 from the field. Only 2 of 8 from the 3-point line for Zach in this game. But Zach went through one of those stretches that we know that Zach LaVine is quite capable of, and just exploding and putting a whole bunch of points on the board in a hurry. So shout out to Zach. Shout out to DeMar DeRozan. 19 points in this game. 5 of 10 from the field, 9 of 10 from the free throw line. So Debo getting to the line as he always does. He drew several different matchups throughout the game. At one point, he had he could probably call one of his kids in Patrick Williams guard him, and he got Patrick a couple of times on those classic DeMar DeRozan moves. But yeah, good to see those guys back at the UC, albeit in opposition colors. But ultimately, when it came to this game, that's exactly what they were. They were the opposition. And for those who do follow me on Twitter, you all would have seen this. And I know Ramita, shout out Ramita, who probably wasn't too happy with what I said. But at the end of the day, these guys are the enemy today, and I want to destroy them. And for the most part, Sacramento as a team, the Bulls were well in control of this game and put a bit of a hurt on the Sacramento Kings. So the Bulls got off to a really good start in this game. At one point, they had an early 12-point lead in this game. It looked like, okay, this is a game that Chicago is going to control. Now, of course, you expect Sacramento, like as that stretch was happening for the Bulls, you did expect Sacramento to fight back. When you got Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis, I almost called him Avitas. Russell Westbrook, the veteran there. you are gonna expect these guys to fight back, but I didn't expect that Sacramento would fight back to the point where they would actually not just bringing the game back to level terms on the scoreboard, but also end up taking a 12-point lead themselves. So it was a 24-point swing there. But once that's all it got for, is large for Sacramento, and then Chicago started to get the game back on their terms. Only got it to within a basket. I think it was only 2 points at halftime. And from then on, basically, it was the Chicago Bulls in complete control of the game, getting his lead as large as 17 at one stage during the fourth quarter. Now, there was 5 lead changes in the game, 2 times the game was tied, and, so looking at some of the numbers here for the Bulls, won the rebounding battle, which you love to see, 46 to 31. Assists, 34 assists now, 34 assists on, what was it, 49 made field goals in this game. So that's a great ratio. I know that's something, the egghead himself he'd be proud of. You know, we all remember "Oh, we're gonna average 35 assists." But I digress. Sacramento leading the way with the steals, 10 to 6, 2 blocks each. 15 turnovers for the Bulls. That is right on the at the high level of that sweet spot, that you want the Bulls to be in. You want them in that 10 to 15 range, I think. Obviously playing at a higher pace, they're gonna have turnovers. And there were some sloppy turnovers. No, man, Josh Giddey, had a couple of, head scratching turnovers, got himself out of control when trying to penetrate to the basket. So those are the type of turnovers that Josh Giddey needs to get under control and reduce those turnovers on those, because yeah, even for me, we all know I'm a Josh Giddey guy. Even I sit back shaking my head when he does that. Like, come on, Josh, get your shit together. Can't be turning the ball over like that. That's just ridiculous. Now, shout out to the Bulls. Shot 54% from the field in this game, as opposed to, Sacramento did shoot a very, very well, as well, at 52% themselves. But a big margin here was, Chicago shooting 44% from beyond the arc. So the overall they went. I need to change pages here. So the Bulls went 14 to 32 from beyond the arc in this game. Sacramento, 7 of 28 from beyond the arc for 25%. A lot has been made about how the Bulls are lucking into teams shooting badly. Now, yes, teams are missing wide open shots. Like, they have missed some wide open shots like all throughout 4 games. But at what point, when you start seeing numbers like 7 for 28, are you actually gonna start crediting the Bulls defense for the opposing team's poor three-point percentage? And when are people gonna start paying credit to the Chicago Bulls defense and the defensive scheme? Shout out Billy Donovan. Gotta give credit where credit is due. I haven't been the biggest Billy Donovan guy going around, but maybe he's finally got a group of guys that suit the way that he wants to play. He doesn't have any lockdown defenders anymore. Like, we don't have Alex Caruso. Lonzo Ball was never fucking healthy, so he ultimately in that he doesn't count. Isaac Okoro at the moment is probably considered in terms of, well, at least in terms of the starting lineup, our best perimeter defender. I think I'd assume he was our best perimeter defender. But we don't have any true lockdown guys. Like, the Alex Caruso who go, "You're gonna Alex, get that guy, shut him down, and he'll shut him down for you." But this is a team that needs to do things as a team offensively and defensively, and they are playing some great, great team defense, and it's about time it starts being fucking recognized by Bulls fans, by Bulls media, by some Bulls content creators, by even the national media. Start respecting the Bulls defense, especially when it comes to the perimeter shooting for the opposition teams. Because yes, like I said, they are missing some open three-pointers. Guess what? Every damn team in the league is going to miss some open three-pointers. But when the ball so far consistently so far in these 4 games are holding teams below 30% from beyond the arc, start start crediting the Bulls defense, because the Bulls defense has something to do with these teams shooting so badly from beyond the arc. But let's get to some of the players. Matas Buzelis had a massive game, one of his career best scoring performances, 27 points. He did flirt with the foul trouble again. He did have 5 fouls in this game, but looking at his numbers, 11 of 18 from the field, 4 of 6 from beyond the arc, 5 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Martis had another great game, and he benefited as well from being smart, with his basketball IQ, reading when to cut. And like Josh Giddey found him a number of times for back cuts that lead to easy baskets for Martis, even on the perimeter for some open 3-point shots. Nikola Vucevic again continues to show he's still got it. He's fitting in nicely with how this team wants to operate. 13 points, 14 boards, 7 assists. So we all know that Nikola Vucevic is not a black hole of a center. He is a willing passer, and we've seen him make some great passes. Notably, that one where he knew exactly what to do before he even caught the ball. He came up. Can't remember who passed him the ball, but he came up, and as soon as he caught it, instantly dumped it off to Isaac Okoro for a dunk, because he knew that Domantas Sabonis was going to come up uh, to guard him, even though he wasn't being guarded at that point, which allowed the easy dump off to Okoro. So shout out to Nikola Vucevic. He is playing some great basketball to start the season. Trey Young, now not the biggest numbers with Trey. He does have 11 points, 5 assists, and 1 rebound. 5 or 6 from the field. So again, another solid game from Trey Jones. Another 2 steals. So Trey, at least through the first 3 games of the season, tied with Michael Jordan for second most steals for the first 3 games of the season. So Trey's killing it. Isaac Okoro, 9 points, 4 boards, 2 assists, a block and a steal, 4 and 9 from the field. Does need to get that 3-point shooting going again, especially when he's got those wide open ones, especially in the corner. That's where he needs to have his sweet spot at. Kevin Huerter off the bench. The Red Baron, the Red Velvet, the Ranger, as I call him as an Aussie, that's what we call redheads here. He is flat out balling, going against another one of his former teams. Obviously came in that Zach LaVine deal. 18 points, 6 of 8 from the field, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. Gets to the free throw line 4 times, 4 boards, 4 assists. Kevin Huerter he's balling. There's no denying that Kevin Huerter is playing some great basketball at the moment. Patrick Williams off the bench, still playing quite solid in his 20 minutes. 9 points, 3 boards, 3 of 6 from the field. All 3 coming from beyond the arc. 3 of 3 from beyond the arc for Patrick Williams there. So, and he's still doing some really nice things. So I'm still really enjoying what Patrick Williams is doing. Now Jalen Smith got off to a fucking horrible start in this game. It was getting ready to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm ready to see some Patrick Williams, small ball 5 again, because Jalen Williams was playing like dog shit to start this game. But then in the second half of the game, he responded. He came back nicely. Finishes with 10 points, 5 and 9 from the field. Does miss all 4 attempts from beyond the arc. Then Jalen is supposed to be a guy that supposedly can spread the floor as a big guy, and he is shooting like absolute trash to open the season. 5 boards. Did have a nice couple of moments there. Again, a beneficiary of some beautiful Josh Giddey passes. And I appear to have frozen. I don't know what is going on. It's finally fixed. There we go. I'd assume in this game, 21 points off the bench. Sorry, 21 minutes off the bench, not 21 points. Has 9 points, 3 right from the field. Does miss all three, obviously, of his attempts from beyond the arc. So I'd assume he's not having his greatest performance there, but still impactful nonetheless. Even though the box score, the plus minus wouldn't say so. And then again, I'm not a big person with the plus minus. Julian Phillips got a quick little burn in this game, just under 3 minutes. Didn't have much of an impact. But Josh Giddey in this game, now, as I did mention before, he does need to fix up some of those horrible turnovers. He did have 5 of them himself, so one third of the Bulls' turnovers did come from Josh Giddey. He has to clean that up. But in his 31 minutes, 20 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, so flirted with a triple double there. Did sit out the final 4.5 minutes of this game at one point, and when he came out, the Bulls were, I think, up by 14 at that stage. I'm like, okay, he's gonna probably get a quick little breather. Probably expect Sacramento to make a bit of a run, and then he'll come right back in. Lee got up to 16 quickly. It got down back down to 12, and it's like, okay, Billy, don't wait too much longer. But then the Bulls managed to steady things out. And then for some strange reason now, whether it was Doug Christie waving the white flag early, which I think was the case, pulling DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine from the game and Demonis Sabonis. Stacey King and Adam Amin say they'll go into the defensive lineup, but you need scorers on the court as well when you're down by 12 points and you're trying to come back into. But yeah, Josh Giddey in this game, 7 of 14 from the field, shoots 50%, 1 or 2 from beyond the arc. Now, Josh Giddey seems to become the buzzer beating specialist of late because that one 3-pointer he did make was like a shot clock toss at the basket where he banked it in. And again, Josh Giddey getting to the free throw line, which has been another element to his game that he has added. I know a lot of Bulls Nation, that was something that wanted to see Josh Giddey do a lot more. So he gets to the free throw line 7 times, makes 5. I would like to see that to be 6, even more preferably 7, of course. But yeah, Josh Giddey had an impact in this game. Now, for those people who love the plus minus stat as a way of telling things, because I know people like to use it against Josh Giddey times. Well, I'm going to use it in Josh Giddey. People like to use it against Josh Giddey in a negative sense. Well, here I am going to use it for Josh Giddey in a positive sense. He was a team best plus 24. Now, Isaac Okoro, a plus 20, Matas Buzelis, a plus 18, Vucevic and Jones, plus 16. Herder off the bench was a plus 6. Meanwhile, Patrick Williams, minus 15, Jalen Smith, minus 3, Idasumu, minus 13. See, that's again why I don't put that much emphasis in the plus minus because Idasumu, while statistically doesn't have the best game, he still had an impact. Yeah, he's a minus 13. So again, that tells you all you need to know about it. Like plus minus is not a true indicator of a individual player's performance. But yeah, this was another outstanding win by the Bulls. Great to see how they are playing together as a team. They're doing everything together as a team, defensively, offensively. These guys, these guys clearly love playing together, and yeah, it's fun to watch. So I'd love to know where all the pessimistic Bulls fans are at the moment who were doubting this team. Where you at? I know Hayes has been looking for you all season. Where are you? Can't find you anywhere. But that's gonna do it for this edition of Whole Lotta Bull. If you can't tell, I keep losing my voice every now and then. Just battling a little something that's just annoying. So yeah, the Bulls host the New York Knicks on Friday night Chicago time. That is a Saturday morning game here in Australia. So that will be a game I do get to watch live. So that is a 10 a.m. game here in Adelaide. I think that's like 7:30 Chicago time potentially. or 7 o'clock. I think it's 7 o'clock. So it is an NBA Cup game as well. So the Bulls will be, excuse me again, in the new red pinstripes statement uniform. So can't wait to see them on the court. Can't wait to eventually get one myself when I can actually get access to one. That'll be nice. All right, guys. So don't forget, hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Don't forget you can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Troy. You can follow the channel at Whole Lotta Bull. We 4-0, baby. We undefeated. We undefeated. Catch you next time, Bulls fans. See you, Red. Be good.